We are given this problem, capital A1 is equal to x minus small a1 small ai by absolute value of x minus small ai. And we are given a1 less than a2 less than a3 less than up to an. We are given this limit x tends to am. M is somewhere between this 1 and n. Right, 1 less than or equal to m less than n. Then what happens to this product? Product of this capital A1, capital A2 likewise. So this limit, it looks something like this, right? So capital A1 is x minus A1 by absolute value of x minus A1. Capital A2 is x minus A2 by absolute value of x minus A2. Likewise, till an. Absolute value of x minus an by, x minus an by absolute value of x minus an. Right. Now limit when x tends to am. Okay. That means we can approach am from the left hand side or from the right hand side. Okay, let us take this simple case, x minus 1, x minus 3, 5, 7 up to n times. In the denominator also, same absolute value of x minus 1, x minus 3 likewise. Now, this denominator, this is always positive because it is product of absolute values, right? This denominator is always positive. Now, if you look at the numerator, let's say am is a3, let's say am. Here in this case, what is am? Am is actually equal to 5, the third term, right? Am is actually equal to 5. Now let's say am, we are approaching from the right hand side. That means 5 we are approaching from the right hand side. Let's say some number 5.1 or something, right? Then what will happen? The first three terms are positive and the remaining ones are negative, right? So basically what we are saying, when you are approaching from the right hand side, am plus 1 to an, these are all negative, right? Am plus 1 to an. So a4, a5, a6, whatever. There are total 10 terms. All remaining 7 terms are negative. First 3 terms are positive, right? Now, when you are approaching from the left hand side, then what will happen? So this term will also become negative, right? We are approaching from the left hand side. We are approaching from the left hand side. So then what we have? So we have something like 4.9. Then even 4.9 minus 5, this also will become negative and remaining ones are anyway negative, right? So what does that mean? The term from am to an, these are all negative terms. When you are approaching from the right hand side, am plus 1 to an are negative. When you are approaching from the left hand side, am to an are negative. For example, when you are approaching from the right side, let's say there are total 10 terms. When you are approaching from the right side, let's say 7 are negative, right? When you are approaching from, this is from right side. When you are approaching from the left hand side, this one will also be negative, so the 8 are negative, right? Whichever one you take, whichever one you take, the when you are approaching from the right hand side, some terms are negative. When you are approaching from the left hand side, one more term will become negative, right? In 5 here, there are 7 terms here, all 7 are negative, right? All these 7 are negative, but when you are approaching from the left hand side, including this one will become negative, right? 8 terms. If there are 10 terms on which are negative on the right hand side, when you are approaching from the right hand side, it will be 11 terms. It will be 10 terms here negative, 10 negative terms, it will be 11 negative terms, whatever, whichever one you pick, right? So whenever you are approaching this am from the left or right side, so one side it will be like minus 1 whole power some even number, another the product of this, right? So basically x min this one, all these fractions are either plus 1 or minus 1, right? All these fractions are either plus 1 or minus 1. So entire product will either be plus 1 or minus 1, right? This limit, this entire product, which one is plus 1 or minus 1, right? So entire product can be either plus 1 or minus 1. But in this case, when you are approaching from the right hand side, you are getting either plus 1 or minus 1 depending on number of terms on the towards the right of it. But when you approach from the left hand side, you will get the opposite. If one side it is even, other side it will be odd, right? So one side you will, if you are getting the limit as 1, another side you are getting as minus 1, or otherwise one side you are getting minus 1, other side you are getting plus 1. Why this is happening? Because as soon as you shift to the left hand side, then one more term will become negative. As long as you are on the right hand side, this term is positive. This is critical term. Let's say this is positive when you are approaching from the right hand side. When you are approaching from the left hand side, this is becoming negative because this absolute value of x minus 5, this is not helping because this is making it absolute. Right. So what does that mean? This product, when you are approaching from the left hand side, it will be, if it is negative, then when you approach from the right hand side, it will become positive, plus 1 or minus 1. So both side limits are not matching. One is 1, another is minus 1. So this limit never exists. It doesn't exist. That is the correct answer. Limit doesn't exist. Right, guys? Thank you.